How can you admire the designs of a husband snatcher? She cried out, her voice slicing through the festive air, turning heads and drawing gasps. The festive atmosphere faltered, the music fading into a tense silence as all eyes turned toward her. Chiamaka, caught off guard, could only stare as Sade approached, her expression one of shock and hurt. "You think you can just steal Oluwa from me?" Sade continued, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and pain. Now standing face to face with Chiamaka, dear viewers, the village market was not usually this dramatic. Join me as I take you back to how we got here. Long ago, in a distant village wreathed in mist and surrounded by the whispering woods, there lived a girl named Chiamaka. She was the warm-hearted, curvy daughter of the village dressmaker, a woman of modest means whose skilled hands wove beauty from plain cloth. Chiamaka, with her gentle smile and deft fingers, was a marrow of her mother's talent and the village's cherished artisan. Each day, as she displayed her creations at the market, her laughter mingled with the rustling leaves, endearing her to all. In sharp contrast, her cousin Sade, born into the influential yet austere Aderemi family, moved through the village with an air of unapproachable elegance. Her beauty was undeniable, yet her smiles were reserved, her gaze often lingering with a measure of disdain on those she considered her lessers. Betrothed to Oluwa, a compassionate young man of a prominent family, Sade found her position unchallenged, except by Chiamaka's unwitting rivalry. Despite her enviable status, Sade watched with a growing icy jealousy as Oluwa's eyes often followed Chiamaka, drawn more by genuine affection than by obligation. As Chiamaka's reputation as a skilled dressmaker grew, so did Sade's resentment. Chiamaka's designs, which beautifully accentuated her figure and showcased her creativity, became the talk of the village, increasing Sade's envy. Meanwhile, Oluwa's affection for Chiamaka deepened, straining his betrothal to Sade. Feeling threatened and overshadowed, Sade plotted to undermine Chiamaka's standing in the village. As the grand festival reached its peak, the village square buzzed with activity. Villagers from neighboring regions had gathered, their voices blending into a vibrant tapestry of excitement and cheer. Chiamaka's stall, adorned with a display of her most exquisite dresses, attracted a steady stream of admirers. Each piece a celebration of her artistry shimmered under the afternoon sun, drawing eyes and earning praises that filled the air with a chorus of admiration. Sade, watching from a distance, felt a bitter knot tighten in her chest with each compliment Chiamaka received. The murmurs of approval that wafted toward her carried echoes of betrayal, fueling a growing storm within her. Oluwa, standing amidst the crowd, felt torn. His eyes moved between the joyous face of Chiamaka and the increasingly stormy expression of Sade. The weight of his impending decision pressed heavily upon him, his heart heavy with the knowledge of the hurt it would cause. As the tension simmered, Sade's patience snapped. She marched through the crowd, her steps firm and her face set in a mask of resolve. "How can you admire the designs of a husband snatcher?" she cried out, her voice slicing through the festive air, turning heads and drawing gasps. The festive atmosphere faltered, the music fading into a tense silence as all eyes turned toward her. Chiamaka, caught off guard, could only stare as Sade approached, her expression one of shock and hurt. "You think you can just steal Oluwa from me?" Sade continued, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and pain, now standing face to face with Chiamaka. Without waiting for a response, she reached out and grabbed one of the dresses, tearing it apart. The sound of ripping fabric echoed through the square like a thunderclap, marking the shattering of public decorum. The crowd's reaction was immediate and varied. Some villagers stepped back, their faces etched with disapproval, while others whispered among themselves, debating the unfolding drama. The air was thick with tension, the earlier joy replaced by a palpable unease. Just then, Oluwa stepped forward, his resolve hardening as he witnessed the spectacle. "Enough, Sade," he declared, his voice booming across the square, cutting through the murmurs. "This isn't just about the dress or what Chiamaka has or hasn't done. This is about us, about how I cannot love you the way you deserve to be loved." His words hung heavy, his tone mixed with regret and firmness. The villagers, stunned into silence, watched as Sade's face turned pale, her initial fury giving way to hurt and confusion. Some nodded in agreement with Oluwa, understanding the pain of his confession, while others looked on with sympathy for both Sade and Chiamaka. As Sade reached out in a final gesture of anger, attempting to strike Chiamaka, a villager caught her wrist, halting her mid-motion. "Stop it, Sade. Have you not embarrassed yourself enough?" he admonished. The intervention from one of their own signified the community's growing discomfort with the escalation. Humiliated and defeated, Sade withdrew her hand and turned away, her exit from the square swift and filled with a venomous parting shot. "I will not let this forbidden love flourish. You are betrothed to me, Oluwa, and you must honor your promise," she declared, her voice echoing with desperation and defiance as she disappeared into the crowd. The villagers' reactions were mixed. Some nodded in agreement with Oluwa, understanding the pain of unrequited feelings, while others whispered in disbelief at the public shaming of a betrothal. The air was fraught with whispers and murmurs, creating a cacophony of opinions and speculations. Oluwa's voice softened as he addressed the crowd, his words deliberate and heartfelt. "My heart belongs to Chiamaka. It always has." The confession hung in the air, heavy with implications. Back at Oluwa's opulent home, the debate raged on in the ornate living room. "You are betrothed. It is a matter of family honor," his father initially protested, his voice echoing off the high ceilings. However, witnessing Sade's actions firsthand, Oluwa's uncles intervened. They pressed the issue of her character, which swayed his father's perspective. "If your heart is truly with Chiamaka, who am I to stop you?" he finally conceded, his voice resigned but gentle. Realizing her schemes and insults would not yield the results she wanted, Sade tried new tactics by attempting to seduce Oluwa at every chance she got. However, it soon became clear that this approach too would not work. Feeling defeated and realizing that her efforts were futile, Sade accepted her loss. This acknowledgement didn't come easy. Nights of introspection and days filled with silent grief helped her see the truth she had been denying. Her love for Oluwa was more about winning than genuine affection. Conceding to her defeat, Sade convinced her mother to send her to her great-aunt's place, far from the village and the humiliation she felt. While Sade could admit to herself that she always knew Oluwa never loved her, she could not bear to see Chiamaka happy. The morning after her decision, she left quietly, sparing herself and the village further drama. She left a note for Chiamaka, expressing a terse apology for her actions, hinting at a hope for forgiveness someday. The next day, Chiamaka, embodying the grace she was known for, sought to reach out and reconcile with Sade, but was informed that she had already left. And so it was that, over time, the respect for Oluwa's honest choice grew, and the village slowly but surely embraced the couple. The story of Chiamaka and Oluwa became a beloved village tale, recounted for generations, setting a precedent in the village for following one's heart over traditional expectations, a delicate reminder of the threads of human emotions woven through the tapestry of our lives. Thank you for joining us in this journey through heartache and healing. If this tale has moved you, leave us a comment below, share this story, and subscribe for more tales of love, conflict, and redemption.